Hey guys, Og here. This might be a little premature, but I thought posting my manifesto early would actually be really cool to come back and look at in the future. Something like a year from now and see how the channel's progressed, how I've grown, how the channel's grown, how my teaching style has grown. I'm going to try to not make this a 20-minute video because let's be honest, no one's going to sit there and listen to me yap for that long. I want to start with why I'm here, what my intentions are going to be, and what I want to achieve and what my goals are. First, I want to share with you how I got here. For a long time, I was a DPS main. When you do something for long enough, you forget some things. You forget what it's like not knowing. You forget that there are still people learning. You forget that the majority of the community doesn't play for the same reasons as you do. And they don't play at the same level as you do. You forget that only 10 to 15% of the player base even reaches 3k IO. You forget the pressure of high intensity learning raid environments, Mythic Plus. You forget the struggle of trying to figure out what add-ons and how to optimize. You forget not knowing what the third-party tools are outside of the game. All the systems that exist. You forget the embarrassment of messing something up and getting blasted for it. And you forget that there is this barrier between experienced players and people who are just starting and people who are learning and going through the process. I'm not even talking about, new players or learning players compared to world first raiders or M plus title pushers. Like even at the level of casual 3KIO players or, semi-progression mythic raiders, there's still this massive disconnection. Someone coming into the game fresh or learning a new role is trying to learn the things that some of us have had years to figure out. These people, they don't know the routines. They don't know the structure yet. They don't know the external tools. They don't know the quality of life add-ons and, websites that they have access to outside of the game. And a lot of us figured that out over time. And a lot of us figured out how to scale that wall difficulty and the struggle. And when someone new runs into that wall, it's a lot to digest, it's a lot to unpack, and it's a lot to figure out when you don't even know where to begin. The problem is when you've been doing it for this long, we stop consciously noticing that wall because we've already figured out the things that we need to do to get over it. Newer or learning players are still at the beginning. They don't know the routines, they don't know the structure. They're so busy trying to climb that wall one brick at a time, and we've completely forgotten that it even exists. When things go wrong, it becomes really easy to lash out, to blame people, to say things like, what is this guy doing? To tell him, how do you not know this shit? How the fuck are you even in my key? Meanwhile, you're just on a fucking alt running +6s or 7s. Meanwhile, this poor guy is going through it. He is in fucking World War II trying to figure everything out on the fly. And he's got some asshole fucking ragging on him, fucking just beating him down. Some people say extremely hurtful things. I know, because that was me. I've barked at players, I've snapped at players, like I have flamed people to the point where it is borderline harassment. I was part of the problem. Then I made a decision that humbled me really fast. Like I said, I had always been a DPS player. But after doing it for so long, it stopped stimulating me. I wanted a new challenge. I needed a new mountain to climb. So I thought, why not healing? I've literally never touched the role before. I thought I was aware of the complexity of it. Reality was, I didn't even have a clue. I just didn't know it yet. I think it took me about 5 minutes in my first Mythic Plus dungeon for me to realize something. I know absolutely nothing anymore. Suddenly, I was the player that didn't understand a healer UI. I didn't know what add-ons healers used. I didn't understand how healers made decisions so quickly. I didn't understand cooldown planning or fight cadence. I didn't understand how experienced healers looked calm while everything looked so fucking chaotic. And then it hit me. I had become the exact kind of player that I used to harass, humiliate, and put down. And it made me realize something really uncomfortable. Not only was my old mindset wrong, I felt overwhelmingly disgusted with my previous self. And I couldn't keep playing the game like that. So I decided that once I felt like I had a good enough understanding of the fundamentals, that I was going to help others instead of tearing them down. So I went to work. I started figuring things out. Endless hours of content consumption, late nights on YouTube, researching classes, specs, rotations, roles, systems, priorities. I did endless hours of experimenting, trial and error, the endless amount of embarrassment and failure, the incredible amount of repetition I had to put in just to become not good, but adequate. Getting good, that was a whole different fucking game. And some people still tell you that I'm not good. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But I've come a long way since I started, and if I'm not good yet, I fucking will be. Because you can be more skilled than me, you can be more talented than me, but nobody will ever out-fucking work me. I will intentionally drive myself mad and become obsessed, and I will make that obsession work for me. And yeah, I know that sounds intense, but that's how serious I was about improving and getting to the point where I could start giving back to the community. Because I became obsessed with understanding and with learning and improving, I figured a lot of things out. I realized that healing isn't random chaos, it's a dance. It's choreographed. You just have to learn how to read the patterns. And once you start recognizing the patterns, healing becomes something completely different. I figured out the tools, I figured out the mindset, I broke things down into steps and sequences that made sense to me. Now I heal in mythic raids, no cutting edge yet, womp womp, and I push keys. Honestly, I have way more fun doing this than I ever did as a DPS. I love solving the puzzles, because that's a big part of what healing is. It's just a puzzle. So my goal with this channel is simple. I want to help people get from where I was to where I am, and eventually to be better than me. My greatest achievement for this channel would be this. Someone comes here knowing nothing or very little, they follow along with the episodes, they learn, they improve, they figure things out, and eventually they reach a point where I have nothing left to teach them and they never have to come back. That would be the ultimate goal, and that would mean that I did my job. Now, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not here to just tell you what buttons to press or what time to press them. I want to teach you the whys, the thought process, how decisions get made, why experienced players make the choices they do. Because if you only copy the decision without the understanding and the why it works, that only helps you in that moment. It doesn't help you in the long term. I want to help build you a foundation so you can start making those decisions yourself, not just copying what other players do, but understanding why it matters. And that's really what Healer University is supposed to be. A place where healers can come to actually learn the game, not just copy builds or cooldown timings, but understand the systems behind them. I want to be honest about something. I am not the best player. Far from it. I am not the most knowledgeable healer in the game. Far from it. But I am absolutely not always going to be right. But I do want to make a few promises. I will apologize when I'm wrong. If I say something incorrect, I will go find out why and correct it. If I explain something poorly, I will readjust and make it more clear. I promise that my content will always be free. Nothing I create will ever be paywalled by me. If I make a UI, tools, or resources for this channel, they will always be freely accessible. If a tool I talk about is paywalled by somebody else, I will do my absolute best to help find you an alternatives so everybody can access the tools that they need. And the biggest promise I want to make is this. If you're new and you're learning, and if you stick around long enough, you will get better. And if you don't, then that means I explained something poorly, and we need to go back and fix it together. I promise to keep improving the content as I improve as a player, as I improve at being a creator, as I improve at editing. Now, I know this was a bit of a rant, and if you made it this far, honestly, I appreciate it. But seriously, bro, why? I'm Og, and this is Healer University.